And greetings to all participants. I'm Charulata, and this session is about some advanced features which we can use in email. So, email is important today because it has become universal. There are much ways to communicate, but the only way which works with any organization in any place is email. The greatest advantage what we can see with email is that you can quickly communicate with others. That whoever is in different places in different time zones, you can quickly communicate and you can send any amount of data like materials, documents, or pictures with an effortless ease. Emails, once organized well, will have effective means of communication and it is more versatile than anything else. I hope everybody will agree with that. Let us discuss some scenarios. Like usually when we send materials, we will send it to a class. So the class will have one common mail ID with which they share the password among themselves and they will start taking up the materials what we had sent to that particular mail ID. In that case, most of the time what we had encountered in some of our classes is the person who sees that first or after some time, that particular material will be accidentally deleted. So what happens is we are in a position to keep resending it again and again. This is one such scenario. The second scenario is you are in a college group or in a department group where you need to archive all your messages and locate them easily. That is to maintain minutes of a meeting or to maintain a particular set of documents which you are going to share, or you take up a project among your team and you want to collaborate among yourselves, then all these facilities can be enabled. So before we enter into what we are going to see today, we have chosen, there are many email services available, but we have chosen Gmail because it is the leading email services. Around 1.5 billion people are using it worldwide, and it provides with tons of features, and that's the reason we have gone with Gmail. And what we are going to see for today is we will be seeing on Google Groups how to create a Google Group ID, how to create contact groups, and some advanced compose options and some settings which some of us are unaware of. So coming to Google Groups. So why should we go for Google Groups? As I've told you, when you want to collaborate and work, in that case, everyone wants to know where to send a message to reach everyone. Instead of typing each and every mail ID every time, say I have 20 of them in my group, I keep typing each and every one of them individually, then it will be time consuming and at some point in time I might miss out one or two. So it would create a problem. So instead of that, if I enter into Google Group, even if there are 10 people, 100 people or 400 people, not going to matter for me. I have only one email ID. I will just type in that email ID and my message reaches to their individual email boxes, inboxes to them. So there is only one address to use, which you can never go wrong. And you want to archive all your messages and you want to search them easily. And especially when you have a minutes of meeting in a structured group like a department meeting or a college meeting, you want to maintain some structure. You have a structured meeting. In that case, you want to organize it properly, then you can go for Google Groups. And it is easy to deliver. The message will be delivered at one shot to all the persons to whom you want to communicate, and you can also keep a track of them. So what can be done with Google Groups? You can have Google Groups from open group. You can enter into any open forum and take part in a discussion, or you can create your own closed groups where you can have your debates and discussions with your students or with your colleagues, and or for a particular project which you have created a group for that. And they also can you can allow users from other persons, those who are not a part of your group, also can be allowed to join in discussions if it is going to be like with societal consciousness or something of that sort. Then you can go ahead with that case. And Google Groups are free. Some requisites: do you need a Google account to be a part of Google Group? Definitely not. If you want to take part in any Google Group discussions, it is not compulsory that you have to be having a Google account. Whereas when you want to create your own Google group, then it becomes mandatory that you have a Gmail address. And when I say a Gmail address, it is better you have a Gmail address not attached to a particular domain. Say, for example, you will have your official mail IDs. But if with that official mail IDs, I cannot create a Google group ID of a diverse group. If I am having an email ID with at stellamariscollege.edu.in, then if I tend to create a Google group with that email ID, allowing from say annauniv.in or from ssn.in, in that cases, it will have a domain head which will request you to get permission from your administrator. So instead, you can have your own Gmail addresses with which you can create a Google group. And it always provides three levels of membership. A public group, that is, you can post any discussion and content which can be read by anyone. You can go for that. And the second one is a private group, which will have member only access. Those who are members, either the members who are invited to join or the members who had been joined in that group will have access to that particular group. And the next one is moderated. That is, any content has to be approved by the owner or the manager. Other than them, nobody can approve it. So you have a moderation level there. And there are different types of Google groups which you can achieve. The first one is email list, which we will be seeing for today. So email list is users will create an emailing list. So you will have a set of 100 email IDs under one particular Google group ID. So if I type that Google group ID, it is sufficient for me. Rather than to remember all the 100 email IDs individually typing it, it takes time. The second group type is web forum. This is an interactive email list option where you allow the users to reply as well as to post any topics. The third type is a question and answer forum. This is same as web forum, but little bit easy for organizing, like putting up questions, and once the questions are answered, you can mark it as resolved, or once it is pending. All these things can be done with a question and answer forum. And the last type is going to be collaborative inbox, where it is sharing ownership of a content, especially when you're working with a group projects and when you're assigning tasks. All these things can be done with a collaborative inbox. Once the task is done, you can mark it as complete. And there are also different permission levels which can be set. We will go through those steps once we start creating it. So you can add or remove members. The tracking of deliverability is really easy here. And always you can archive the mails and have a track of searching for my old messages, whatever has been discussed in the forum or discussed in my mailbox. And the appearance can be configured according to your wish. So now the first step is to how to create this Google group ID. So you have to just type in groups.google.com and log in into your Google account. So once you type in groups.google.com, I hope you all can see there is a sign in button there. So the user is requested to click on the sign in and give his Gmail ID if you are going to create an group mail ID. And once you click on sign in and once you have signed in, you will be launched into this particular page where you will have this create group option. Click on the create group option. And this will be taking you to the first page. The first page, this is the most important page because this is where we set the permissions as well as create our mail ID. So first thing you have to decide is have a proper group name and a proper email address. See to that your mail address has some relativity and you will be able to remember it clearly. Everybody has to remember it, all the 100 participants, so that it becomes easy for them. So you can have one such name here, and just like any other mail addresses you are creating, here also it will check for the availability. Only if it is available, it will allow you to go for the next step. Otherwise, there will be a red mark around this group email address stating that this particular mail ID is not available. So if it is available, it will be normal. And then you can give a short description. Then you can give a short description about your class discussion. And then comes the next part. This is where we have to select what type of group we are going to, group ID we are going to create, whether it is an email listing or for a web forum or for a question and answer or for a collaborative inbox. So you decide clearly first what this group is going to do. So if it is going to be only for sharing of materials or for messages, then I can create an email list. Hope you are all with me and you are able to understand what has been discussed so far. I could see some yes, thank you. The next one, which is in the same page, you have to select the participants. Here, you will have to select who are going to be the participants. It's going to be only the owners, managers, or all members of the group. If you are going to have a collaborative work, then you can be having all members of the work. And also decide on the group visibility, whether it should be visible only to the members or anyone on the web. Anybody can make use of entering into your public discussions. Your discussions will then become public. So you have to decide on these things and view topics. As I've told you, whether you want to put it, anyone on the web becomes a public forum. So any question or topic you under discussion will be available for any public to enter into your room and take part in the discussion. So you have to consciously select the view topics and the posts as well. Whether the post can be, if you are going to be only giving instructions and not going to receive anything, it's going to be one way, then you can go for only owners of the group or managers of the group. And select who can join the group. Joining the group is going to be only members that you have decided only this many members are going to be there. Then you can just say only members of the group will be allowed, no new participants is allowed. Or you are wishing to allow anybody to enter your forum by requesting your permission. So after doing all these things on the first page, click on create. Once you click on create, it will have a CAPTCHA where you have to just enable it and click on continue. And that's it, your group mail ID will be created. Once it is created, it is only you will be shown as the owner. Who has created will be shown as the owner here. And here you will have a manage group and manage members. And the next one is you want to add your members into your group. Next step will be that. So once I click on my groups, you can see that whatever name I had given for my group, that is appearing here. And I can have manage group, manage members, and members. Here you can set the name of your group, whether you want the full name, whatever is your name in your with which you had logged in. That name will be appearing here. Otherwise, you want to give a specific name for this one particular Google group, then you can add that here itself. And once the user clicks on manage group, it will show the general information about the group. So you can recheck whether all the informations, whatever you have set already is available here. You want to do any updations, you can make the updations here and click on save. Now coming to the adding of members. When you see members, on the left side of the pane, it shows all members. Since the one who has created alone will be shown here as the owner, there are different options in which we can add members into your group. Here are the list of options. The first one is invite members. When I say invite members, you have their email addresses. You have to enter their email addresses with a comma. Enter the email address of the first person, then a comma, then the second person, then a comma, and it allows only up to 10 email addresses at a time. So if you have 100 members in your group, then 10 times you have to do the same with an invitation message where they will have a link with on clicking of which they will be able to join into your group. That is the first method. The second method is directly add some members. But here itself there is a warning. Please use this feature carefully. Only add please use this feature carefully. It's shown here. So only add people you know. So using this feature, you cannot just like that, whomever you want to add, you cannot add. You have to be very conscious in deciding whether that person will not have any problem in joining your group, or you have already got their approval to make you join in their group. So here you have to give their email address. As I have told you, there is a catch here. Only add 10 email addresses at a time. So once I type in the 10 email addresses and a welcome message, I have to click on add. And again, the next 10 members, I have to add and annotate. One second. So once that is done, your email address will be created and you can make use of it. So that is how you will be adding members directly into your thing. And there is a next one which is called as outstanding invites. That is, somebody is requesting to somebody you have requested to join, but they are pending. That is, they haven't approved or they have not clicked your link or to join into this Google group. And somebody have asked that whether you have import option here. Import option is not available here. You have only these three methods with which you can allow them to, these two techniques with which you can allow them to join. And join request is whom are requesting to join. You can, the owner and the manager will have the permission to approve their joining. The next one, what we are going to see is contact groups. So what is a contact group and how it is different from a Google group? So here, when I say a Google group email ID, anybody, whoever has that email ID can send the message in one shot to all the 100. Say if I have 100 members in my group, then I can send it to all the 100 members at a time. Anybody, all the 100 members will have, or anyone who has that email address can send it to 100 members. That's it. But when I say contact group, whoever has created alone can pass on the information to that particular group. So this is like within your contact group, you are facilitating yourself by creating a group, and with that group name or labeling them, it will be easy for them to contact. So this one will be happening when you have Google groups will be useful when you are going to have a common project being shared, or you want to have a common discussion among the entire college. You have some discussions going on related to NAC or anything, you can then create a Google group email list. When I say a personal contact group, it can be like a friends. I have some 20-25 friends, and each time I want to share something, I cannot type in all their email IDs separately. Instead, I can go along with a contact group label. By giving the label, it is enough. Do you have any questions? Hello. Participants, can you please mute your audio? Can I continue?
Yes, Charlotte. Yes, Charlotte, I can continue.
So how do you go on creating this personal contact group? So here, for creating the personal contact groups, first you have to launch your contacts. So this contacts can be available in your, this 9 dots next to your name in your Gmail. Okay, this usually call it as an hamburger option, but and if you click on that, it will display all the Google apps within that. In that, you have this contacts option. Once you click on the contacts, you will be entering into this particular page. where you can see that you have an import option available. So here, this one, if you have to create only for 5 or 6 persons, then I can very well do that. But if you have a list of participants like 55 in a class or 70 in a class, and I want to import all the email addresses here and put it under one common label, then you can have to go for import, because it will be a tedious job for us to type in all the email addresses with the names. So for importing, once the user clicks on import, it will ask you, a small window opens up here, which asks you to select a file which is on CSV format or vcard file. So here, though they say CSV format, even if you convert an Excel file into a CSV file format, it still says the recent change what Gmail has done is it accepts only vcard format. Okay, so it says the file you are importing isn't formatted for Google Contacts, even if it is a .csv extension. We have to first convert our CSV files or an Excel file into a vcard format. Then only we can import our contacts into our Gmail account. So for converting a CSV, ma'am, is it audible now? Because
Yes.
I see some messages.
No, yes, it's audible now.
Yes, ma'am. So when you have online softwares available, lot of online softwares available, you can download it. I have just downloaded one such systool software, which is an e-card converter. This one can be used whenever you want to convert a bulk of registrations coming up for your conferences or your workshops. You want to convert them into a vcard in a single shot. They will be using their Google Forms and they will be registering. And once the Google Forms can be exported into Excel, the same Excel file can be applied here and you can convert it into a vcard. So we will just go through the steps what we have to do for converting it into a vcard when you are using this systools. The same procedure applies for other software tools which are available online also. The procedure is not going to change. So here, once I clicked, as I've told you, I didn't purchase this software. I'm just continuing with the demo version. So once you double click on it, you will just ask whether you want to activate if you have already bought the software, and whether you want to activate or whether you want to continue as a demo. I have clicked on continue as a demo. Once I have clicked on continue as a demo, you will be getting into this particular file, this particular window, where it will ask you to select the Excel file. This Excel file you have to browse and locate the Excel file wherever it is. And once you browse and click enter, the details, whatever is there in your Excel file will be appearing here. And you have to click on next. So this is how it will come. Once I select all the once I select the Excel file, all the names and their email IDs alone I have chosen. So only those two things will be appearing here. I will be clicking on next. Once the user clicks on next, this is my step 1. It moves on to step 2, where I have to map columns. For one thing we have to remember here is, for all these Excel files, I should have a proper header. Otherwise, my first record will be considered as a header. So make sure you have, for each column, you have a proper heading. The first name, if you have noticed in my previous one, there is first name and email ID. This one comes from the Excel file. I didn't type it here. This one comes from my Excel file. So in that case, have the proper headings. So in the Excel field, whatever is shown as a first name, you have to map it to the corresponding vcard. Say for example, I have my first name, last name, then the department. All these things have to be mapped correspondingly according to the vcard fields. So first name, I'm giving it as first name and then clicking on add. And then the next field I will be available in my drop down. I have to just choose from the drop down here, and what will be the corresponding vcard file field name which I have to choose. If I have chosen department, then I would have chosen department here. Since it is an email ID, it will be email address. That is what my vCard field corresponding to the Excel field. I'm choosing it and clicking on add. So if you have noticed already what we had done, already what we have added is appearing here. The first name is mapped to the first name of my vCard. Now my email ID will be mapped to the email address of my vCard. And once that is done, click on next, come to the third step. My third step will be exporting. Here we have to be very careful, but that while you are doing, I hope it is visible. The second option and the first option, there are two check boxes. The first checkbox is for allow empty email address to be imported. There will be something like you had kept it as an optional. You don't want their email addresses. So in that case, you want to add those contacts also? Up to you to select that. And the second one is single vCard. Say if there are 25 mail IDs in that Excel file, then all the 25 mail IDs will come as one vCard to be visible. But individually within that, it will be having different, each field, each record will be treated as a separate vCard only. But for us to easily transport from, import it from the file, it will be easy if you have it as a single vCard file for all the contacts. Internally, each vCard will be there. So you need not worry about it. Otherwise, it becomes a problem when we are importing. Each vCard, we have to select individually and you have to select it one by one. There is no shift all or control A where I can select all the 25 contacts together and click on import. That option is not available. So you have to check on single vCard file for all contacts. And here there are different versions. Whatever version you choose, it is not a problem. Here also, the only hit is the demo version will export only 25 items. So what I did was for our workshop, we had 75 participants. So I splitted them into 3 Excel files, and each Excel file I converted into a vCard and then imported into my thing. So that is how you can do it. And you can select the saving location. And once you have set everything, you have to click on convert. Once done, whichever locations you have saved, it will be saved as one single vCard like this contact. But if you double click this contact, each record will be shown as a single vCard. So you need not worry that all 25 had been merged. No, it is not merged. It will be shown as one single vCard. It's like a vCard folder where all the vCards are placed inside. So now having converted this, now I am back to importing contacts. So click on import. Now I'm selecting the file contact.vcf and click on import. All my contacts will be imported. Okay. So this is what about importing the contacts. So far we have only imported, but we have not grouped them under a particular label. So the next step is of creating a label. So after import, you have gone to create a label. Here, when you click on this create label, it will ask you to give a proper name for the label, which you can remember well. So create a label and click on save. So I had created a label and I had given a name as Workshop 2020. So once that is done, all the contacts, whichever is imported, you have to select all using this button, and a checkbox will be available next to that. Say for example, out of my 100 contacts, I want only 25 contacts under this particular label. Other persons, I am not interested in making them join. In that case, only those 25 you have to select individually. If it is going to be select all, then you can very well see a minus symbol here. If you click next, the drop down next to it, you can select all. Whether select all or none is the 2 option available there. So you can click here and select all. Once you have selected the contacts, whichever you want to put under that particular label, click on manage labels. So whatever labels have been already designated will be appearing here. When you are importing, a default label imported on that particular date will be appearing here. If you want to continue with that, you can very well go ahead with that, or you can just uncheck that and check on the name of the label to which you want to assign these mail IDs and then click apply. Once you click apply, you're done with that. You can compose only with that name. You can see all the 25 mail IDs available here. Okay, so while you are typing the name, it will be showing the name, and once you press enter, automatically all the 25 mail IDs will be appearing here. And this is how you can compose easily using a group label. Now coming to some of the advanced compose options which we use in Gmail. Why should we go for this? Because most of the time we have a tool. We will just type in the receiver's address, the subject, and then the content, and then most of the time we click on send, and if we have an attachment, we just tend to attach the files and send. This is what we had been doing, but there are some advanced features which are available now, especially this one. If you can see a talk symbol with a timing here, so that one is a confidential mode. Certain things which you want to send confidentially, that is, you don't want you allow your recipient to forward this mail or copy this mail or print or download this email, then you can select that confidential mode. Also, you can set the expiration dates. It can be 1 day, 15 days, 1 week, or 1 month. How long you want this particular mail to stay in the recipient's inbox. That is what you will set. And you can also select require passcode, because you want to make it more secure enough that only that person accesses his inbox or somebody else accesses his inbox. You can give a passcode. So if you select this SMS passcode, then the recipient on opening the inbox or your mail will be asked to enter the SMS passcode, which he will be receiving at that point in time when he is opening. And once you have set the confidential mode and click on save, your compose window will be converted to this format, where you can see that the content expires on. It shows clearly. If I had set 1 day, then it will show the next day's time, and the recipients won't have the options to forward, copy, print, or download this email. So here, once I type in the content and the subject, and I type in the matter, and I can also give the attachment, whatever is required. And when I click on send, it will ask me to give their phone numbers, because I would have set SMS passcode. If you had selected that option, then you have to provide the phone numbers of the recipients to whom you want to send these messages. Upon receiving, the recipient has to enter the passcode which has been received in that particular mobile number which you had given here. So give the mobile numbers which the recipient was using often, and you can click on send. So this is from your side. At the recipient's inbox, it will be like, once he opens, this is what he will see on the first screen. Once he clicks on the message and opens it, it will be like you have to verify your identity. To view this mail, you have to confirm your identity. The one-time passcode will be sent to the phone number for which this particular recipient you had set. Once the receiver clicks on send passcode, he will be receiving a 6-digit passcode which he has to enter, and on submitting it and verification is done, the mailbox will open for him. So till such time, he will not be able to read your message nor see any of your attachments. And here, even this attachment, he will not be able to download. He can only preview it. And copy option is also disabled here, and forwarding is also not enabled here. Okay. And it also gives him the message that your content will expire, so on, so and such details are available, as we had already seen. And this is what about setting the confidential mode. Coming to the other settings. Hope you are with me so far and I'm clear enough. Yes. Shall I proceed? Yes. Thank you. So coming to the other settings, there are few settings which we often think it would have been nice if it was there, but it is already there. Only thing is we don't have the settings enabled in our mailboxes. So you can see next to this hamburger symbol, you have a gear next to that. Click on that gear. It will open up into the settings page where you will have a general, labels, inbox, and all the other details pertaining to your inbox and your how you want your mailbox to be assembled. So here, the main thing is most of the time by mistake or by accident we would have clicked on send without giving an attachment or without giving a subject body or some way or the other we would have thought, oh god, I should have undone that. But actually by default it comes with a 5 seconds. The send cancellation period comes with 5 seconds. So once you compose and click on send, automatically you can see this black color small window which opens in your left hand side of your box mail window where it says message sent, undo and view message. I have to just click undo within the 5 seconds period so that the message which has been sent will be reverted back. But I want it to increase very well. You can very well increase it for up to 20 seconds. So this particular drop down, you will have options to increase the number of seconds you want to have for undoing. Once that number of seconds is expired, you will have only message sent and view message. And the next one is a vacation responder or an automated reply. Most of the time we will create an mail for conferences or for any workshops. In that case, you want to set an whoever has registered, you want to set an automated reply, or whoever mails you with a query, you want to set an automated reply. And most of us would have received automated replies from many organizations stating that thank you for registering with us, we will get back to you, or your query has been submitted and this is your query number, all these things. So these vacation responder, if you can set on, and you can set the date until which date you want, the last day, and the subject and message you have to type in and click on save changes. So whoever mails you will get an automated reply from this mailbox. And there is another option like setting inbox type. Most of the time, whichever message we tend to see first or whichever is unread will remain unread because our inbox keeps filling up fast. So in that case, we would have missed our unread messages. So you can select inbox type from the inbox tab available under settings. So you can say important first or unread first, or you can set it as a priority inbox. So all these options are available. Only thing is we have to select. By default, it will be default that whichever order it has entered into your mailbox, it will reside that way. But you want to have it as unread first, then you can have the unread messages first. And that's all about mailing. Hope the session has given you some inputs on mails and how to make use of the advancements which are available.